Welcome, jesters. Maybe let's have a little fun with this. Come on, we can laugh. Maybe it's a serious subject. I don't know, but let's try and have some fun. Okay, so septum ring theory or nose ring theory, whatever it's called, is real. It really is, and so is the blue hair thing. We all know it's real. And I've said this before. I don't really think it's a bad thing, but one of my very guilty pleasures is watching videos, here on YouTube and other places about women crashing out, modern women crashing out, or hitting the wall, or whatever it is that they call it. And as a gay man, I find these particularly amusing, right? I really have no vested interest in this, so yeah, I can watch with amusement at all of this. But I do feel bad, though, because I do get some of these women, they do seem actually sorry and remorseful and maybe wish they had made better decisions, more traditional decisions when they were younger. A lot of them, they get older and they do express regret not starting a family, not sticking with the one man that got away, not raising children, not maybe even staying home. I know, they're tired of being the boss babe, and I get it. So I thought about this, and they also complain about the dating apps and going out and everything, and it's hard. It is really hard, which is admittedly, I'm not really out there. I'm not on any of the apps. I really don't go out anymore. I'm totally fine, by the way. But I get it. Maybe they want to try again, maybe try and start over, or maybe some of the younger women don't have role models, I guess, to look up to. The current moderns, their mothers, maybe even their current grandmothers, probably not the best ones to give advice. So I realized there's something that we, us in the gay community, don't really do anymore that maybe could be useful to these women who don't want to be modern women anymore, right? Or who want to avoid the traps of being a modern woman. And well, to be honest, maybe, some of the gays could use this too. And that's the handkerchief code. Well, a lot of you who, are as old as I am know what I'm talking about. Or you can find out yourself. But we don't really do this anymore. In fact, I don't even think back when I was out on the scene, it was a big thing. Maybe occasionally, some guy would wear it just as a, wink and a nod, but it's not really a big thing. Maybe in some of the more degenerate places, New York, San Francisco, it's still a thing. But here in Miami, no, it really never was. In fact, I knew about this for a long time, and I would see straight guys, they were definitely straight, wear, the handkerchiefs, and I'd be like, do you know what that means? I don't think so. So it wasn't really a thing here. So this is what I propose. Like I said, let's just have some fun with this, okay? Instead of the older meetings, you know what, ladies, some gay men, how about a new handkerchief code? It doesn't have to be that complicated, right? Very simple. White means you have a low body count, right? What low is these days, is up for debate, but, you don't need to be, that active out there, to find a mate. In fact, I would suggest you do a little courtship first. Don't jump right into bed, because maybe you will meet that special someone. And let me tell you something, waiting, it is better. It really is, better, right? And besides, let's be honest, that's kind of what men want. It's actually what all men want, right? So I hope you understand what I mean by that. Okay, next one, the black handkerchief. That would mean that you want to be a homemaker. Yes, what the modern feminist movement would definitely call modern day bondage, right? Chained to the stove, chained to the vacuum cleaner, on your knees, scrubbing floors every day, that kind of thing. Not the modern liberated woman who goes to work every day, for a boss that probably doesn't really care for her. No. Black means that you actually want to make a nice, happy, and welcoming home for you and your family, right? How about green? Green, that means you want to actually be a mother. Yes, you are not a rent-a-womb, right? You are not some handmaiden, forced to bear children for, wealthy men or anything like that. You are signaling that you actually want to be that mother. You want to have children. You want to bear children. You want to raise children. And preferably, you want this to be your most time job. And, well, it is. Especially if you have more than one. Yeah, it's a job. It's a job. And that's why, men are by and large, more than willing to support you in doing this, right? But you have to really want to be a mother, an actual real mother. Okay, light blue. Yes, this means you will listen and obey. I know, of all the things, this will probably get me in trouble most. But maybe you could apply a sort of a modern twist to this. But I remember there was the thing called the surrendered wife a long time ago, and a lot of women just lost it over this. But a lot of women also indicated that they appreciated it, right? They want a man to be to take the leadership role, in the family and in their lives. They don't want to create the emotional baggage that many modern women feel like they have to create and bear, right? No, ladies, you don't have to create the emotional load that they seem to be carrying with pride and then get so stressed out over it. Let the man take the lead, and we will, absolutely. And then finally, orange. Oh yeah, no. This doesn't mean anything. It means you actually want to be feminine. You want to be a woman as opposed to your man. You want to be the yin to his yang or the yang to his yin. Whatever it is, however it is you want to look at it, you want to be soft and feminine and provide that type of energy to the relationship. You don't want to be the boss. You don't want to be overbearing. You don't want to be aggressive or argumentative, right? You just want to provide that gentleness, the softness, the caringness to a relationship, and that's something that creates balance in any relationship. So, well, there you go. A modern handkerchief code, get rid of the old nasty, gross stuff, and let's replace it with something modern and wholesome, because deep down, I know some gay men who want this, but deep down, a lot of women actually do want that life. And I'm right.